Hey guys, this is Mr. Grice for Algebra 2 Unit 0.4 Notes, Day 1. Today we're talking about solving multi-step inequalities. The important rule to remember is if you multiply or divide both sides by a negative number, you must flip the inequality symbol in the solution. So let's go ahead and dive in and get started. So if I have negative 3n is less than or equal to 12, to get the n by itself, I would need to divide, and I would divide by a negative 3. So the rule says if I'm dividing by a negative number, I have to flip the symbol, and then 12 divided by negative 3 would be negative 4. Okay? Now, if we have 3n is less than or equal to negative 12, when I solve this one, I'm doing the same thing. I'm dividing, but this time I'm not dividing by a negative. I'm just dividing a negative number. Okay, so the difference is, since I'm not dividing by a negative number, I don't have to flip the sign there. I only flip it when we divide by a negative. Okay? So let's go ahead and talk about all of the symbols. Now, hopefully this is a reminder for you guys. So the first one, that symbol is less than, okay? Remember, if you can make it in your hand, okay, the symbol in your hand, your left means less, okay? Now, if I were graphing that on a number line, because that's what we're going to be doing today, I would have an open dot, okay? So it would be open, and then I would shade to the left, okay? Key thing to remember is that this is an open point, okay? Now, my next one, that is greater than. So if I'm drawing this, once again, I'm going to have my point, but it's going to be open, and I'm going to shade everything to the right, okay, because it's greater. So just remember that that is open as well. Now, once we add the line underneath it, okay, I can make that symbol with my left hand so it is less than or equal to. So when I'm drawing that one on the number line, since it's equal to, I'm going to have a closed point and shade to the left. And my last one is greater than or equal to. Once again, when we draw this on the number line, yeah, it's going to be closed. And since it's greater, we're going to the right. So hopefully that was a nice reminder for you guys. But now let's go ahead and start solving these. So we're going to solve and graph each inequality. So there's my graph below. All right. So to help, oh, of course this would happen. We're going to postpone you. So I'm going to draw the line so I can see both sides. And now I'm still following the rules of SADMAP, okay, the reverse order of operations. So I'm going to subtract first. We got negative 2y is less than 6. And now when I divide by my negative, I need to remember that I have to flip, okay? So I get y is greater than negative 3, okay? So my solution, y is greater than -3. And then are we going to be open or closed? Okay, it's going to be open because it is greater than. So we go to, oh, that's right. We have to number the number line, guys. So I'm at -3 now. If I'm going to the right, those numbers are going to be getting bigger. Sorry. And if I go to the left, my numbers are going to be getting smaller. Okay. So it's going to be open, and I'm going to be shading everything to the right. Okay. Next one. Number 2. Now, when we finish these, we want our inequality, the variable, to be on the left-hand side. So I'm going to show you what we're going to do in just a second. Okay, so once again, I have to divide by a negative, and when I divide by a negative, I need to flip the symbol. 12 divided by -6 is -2, and then my m is over there. The only thing that's wrong now, it's in the wrong order. I need my variable first. So right here, we're going to rewrite it, all right? So I want my variable first, then the number, and the inequality is pointing at the m. So I want to make sure it stays pointed at the m, okay? So since that's my final solution, I'm going to drop it down here. M is less than -2. So I'm going to go down to my number line. There's -2, -1 and 0, -3 and -4. Are we open or closed? Yeah, it's open because it's less than. And then since it's less than, I'm going to shade everything to the right. Left. Okay. Number 3. Now right away at number 3, I notice that my variable is positive. Okay, so if I have a positive variable, I will not be flipping my inequality here. So I'm just going to solve, cancel the addition first. And I have 1/2 n. To get rid of the 1/2, I need to multiply by the reciprocal. And the reciprocal of 1/2, 2 over 1, is the same thing as 2. So if n is less than or equal to, -8 times 2 is -16. Just like we said, since it is, I'm multiplying by positive, I don't have to change anything. -16 goes in the middle. Numbers to the right get larger. To the left get smaller. At -16, I am closed. Okay, I'm closed because the line is underneath, so it's less than or equal to. And since it's less than, we're going to shade everything to the left. All right, number 4. So I'm going to add 8 to both sides because we cancel addition or subtraction first. 16 plus, or 6 plus 8 is 14, is greater than, sorry, just greater than. Don't be changing stuff to the inequality symbols. Okay. Now, I need to multiply by the reciprocal, and yeah, that's going to be negative. Okay, so -3 over 2 times 14. If you don't know how to do that in your head, take out your calculator. All right, remember when we're putting in the fraction, you want it in parentheses, -3 divided by 2 times 14. And we get -21. Okay, so -21 I just multiplied by negative, so I have to flip that sign, x, but then my variable's not first, so right here I have to rewrite. Sorry, back here we had to flip. X comes first, negative 21. The inequality is pointing at the negative 21, so I want to make sure it's still doing that. So x is greater than negative 21. Numbers to the right get larger, to the left get smaller. So at 21, negative 21, I am open and it's greater, so I want to shade to the right. Okay, so as we're going through these, the only thing that's really happening is they're getting a little bit longer, just like our solving before. So we just need to practice that and then just remembering the rules. Okay, so number 5, I have to distribute a negative. Negative 3 times 2 is negative 6a. Negative 3 times negative 9 is a positive 27, is greater than 4 times 5 is 20. 4 times negative 2 is a negative 8 plus 5. Okay, so on each side, we're going to want to combine our like terms. I'm going to put that negative 6a out front. Plus 29 is greater than negative 8a plus 25. So yesterday or the day before, we were talking about moving your smaller variable. And the reason we do that is for the inequalities, because now if I'm moving the smaller variable, this is now a positive 2a. So when I divide, I'm not going to be dividing by negative, and I'm not going to have to flip the sign. Okay? So I can subtract both sides by 29. We got 2a is greater than negative 4. And when I divide by 2, we're going to get a is greater than negative 2. And that's our solution. So a is greater than negative 2. Negative 2, negative 1, 0. Negative 3, negative 4. We are open, and we shade to the right. Okay? So for number 6, what I'm going to do is I'm going to help you distribute, but after that, you guys are all on your own. Okay? So I have the negative 4x, because that we're not distributing anything. Here I have to distribute a negative sign. So I'm multiplying by a negative 1. We have to multiply by a negative 2, so we get negative 8 minus 2x. Okay? So you guys are all on your own. Go ahead and pause the video, and good luck. Okay, so I had to combine my like terms, get my variable to one side, so I added the 7x, and then I started following SADMAP. So add the 3, divide by negative 5. I realized that my variable was on the wrong side, so I rewrote it. The inequality symbol was pointing at the x, so I made sure at the end it was pointing at the x. Okay, so at negative 1, it's going to be a closed point because it's less than or equal to, and then since it's less than, I need to shade to the left. Okay. Don't get scared just because there are fractions, okay? We do the same thing. Distribute the 2/3. 2 times 6 is 12. 12 divided by 3 is 4a. 2 times 15 is 30. 30 divided by 3 is 10. Okay? 3 times 1 is 3. 3 times 4 is 12. All right, now let's go ahead and combine our like terms, only on the left-hand side, or the right-hand side. Negative 12a plus 18. Move the smaller variable, so I'm adding the 12a to both sides. And we get 16a plus 10 is less than 18. We're following the rules of SADMAP, so I'm going to subtract 10 to both sides. I get 16a is less than 8. And when I'm all done, 8 over 16, we need to reduce the fraction, is 1/2. So a is less than 1/2. So when we're graphing this, okay, we always have to put our numbers, these are integers, okay? So when we have 1/2 like this, we're just going to find where 1/2 would be on the number line. You can write 1/2 in, it's open, and we're shading to the left. Okay, so I don't want you counting by halves with those tick marks. We're not going to do that. You're going to put it in between where it goes. Okay? All right, so number 8, I'll be nice. I'll start you off. Go ahead and distribute. 1 times 8 is 8. 8 divided by 4 would be 2. 1 times 12 is 12. 12 divided by 4 would be 3. Okay? 2 times 3 is 6. 2 times 2 is 4. And there you go. You guys are on your own from here, and I want you to graph it too. Pause the video, and good luck. Okay, so I combined my like terms. I added the 4, added the 3, divided by 6. We get a is greater than 6. Okay, and since I'm greater than 6, that's open, and I shade to the right. All right, number 9. Once again, don't be scared because of the fractions. Distribute the 2. We get 2w minus 1. And then technically you can do that in your head by crossing things out, but I know some of you guys get freaked out by that. So it's just 3 divided by 4. I'm distributing, which means multiplication, and I'm multiplying that by 16 divided by 3, or 16 over 3. Remember to put your fractions inside parentheses. Okay, so when I distributed that first one, I get 4w. Okay, and if you need to do it for the second one, just 3 divided by 4 times 4. And we get 3. All right, so I'm going to move the smaller variable, the minus 2w. Okay, I get negative 1 is greater than or equal to 2w minus 3. I'm going to add 3 to both sides. And then we get negative 1 plus 3 is 2 is greater than or equal to 2w. And I need to get the w by itself. And we get 1. So 1 is greater than or equal to w. Aw, what's wrong here? What'd you get? Hold on a second. I caught my mistake, did you? Hopefully. See, you gotta watch out because one small number like that can change everything. What is 2 times negative 1? What should that number be? Yeah, That should have been a 2. And negative 2 plus 3 is 1. Come on, Mr. Grice, wake up. Okay, and then the last thing I have to do is to rewrite. Sorry about that. Hopefully you guys were yelling at me. So when I rewrite it, I'm just going to write it down here. The inequality is pointing at the W, so I want to make sure it is still pointing at the W. And then we got 0, 1, and 2, negative 1 and negative 2. It's at 1/2. It is closed. Make sure we can clearly tell if it's closed or not, and then do your shading. Okay? So, number 10, you guys are all on your own. Pause the video, and good luck. Okay, and there you go. Now, if you have any questions, please come see Ms. Carranza or myself. We would love to help you out. Otherwise, this is Mr. Grice signing off for Algebra 2, Unit 0.4 Notes, Day 1. Thanks for watching.